Hey everybody, Kenji here, founder of Bayfield Digital. We help local businesses get more Google reviews. This is part two in a video series around best practices around your Google reviews. Now, let's talk about specifically that topic around those best practices in this video today. So let's start by talking about why reviews matter. So there are two main reasons. Google reviews for your business will affect both who finds you and then who actually call you. So on the left side, you can see that your Google visibility and ranking is highly dependent on the quality and the quantity of the reviews that you have on your Google business profile. So the algorithm will determine who to surface in those search results when someone searches for, let's say, plumber near me or handyman near me or something like that. So whether your business is going to be shown or it's going to be invisible. Now, secondly, even if your business is visible in that search, the question is whether the customer is going to call you or one of your competitors that Google will also surface. And so on the right side, it mentions social proof. So what this means is having a high quantity of reviews and high quality, and that's going to cause people to call your business rather than your competitors. And so what this really means is that companies with high Google reviews, and a lot of them, tend to get a lot more organic leads from Google, meaning without paying for ads. So let me break that down super simply. So in general, having more and better Google reviews leads to significantly increased visibility in the Google rankings when people search for businesses like yours. And then secondly, that leads to more customer calls, which means you get free leads and free customers without having to pay for ads. Now let's talk about the specific best practices. So in general, there are several best practices around what types of reviews you want to have. So first, let's talk about the quantity. In general, the best practice for a typical business is that you want to have 50 plus reviews on your Google business profile. Recency, you need to have reviews on a constant basis every couple of weeks because that shows Google that you're an active business as opposed to just operating several years ago. Star rating. You should really have 4.5 stars or above. The higher the star rating, that matters both for the Google algorithm as well as for the social proof of whether you get the call. And lastly, engagement. Responding to every review shows Google and the algorithm that you are actively engaged in the business. Let's give some specific examples of that. So this business is San Mateo Glass and Mirror, and you can see they have a high number of reviews, 116, and they have a very, very high rating of 4.9 stars. So in general, this business is going to be surfaced in the searches, and when customers are going to look at them compared to their competition, they're going to see that they perform really good work because people have vouched for them on Google. And so that social proof is going to it causes them to get a lot of organic calls without having to pay for ads. And so that both helps with social proof as well as rising in the Google algorithm. Next is recency and engagement. So they get reviews on a constant basis. Every couple of weeks or every few days, they're getting new reviews. You can also see they're responding to the review, thanking them for their review right away. The same day as the review posts, they're responding. And so that shows the algorithm that you are active and engaged in the business. The next best practice is around sending review requests, because oftentimes this can be very difficult. So, we first start by reactivating your previous customers that you've done a great job servicing them. And so we send out review requests to ask them to leave a review for you. Now, on an ongoing basis, the next best practice is around contacting your current customers basically as soon as the job is done, as soon as the service is provided, sending them the immediate review request while it's still fresh in their mind. Now, when you send emails to request it, it's best to do text only, because if you have images in your email, those will often go into a different category and either go to spam or will sometimes go into promotions. From an SMS perspective, what we typically do is use a personalized image, meaning it shows a picture of the business, and so the customer will recognize it, and it will be personalized to the actual customer name. So in this case, the customer's name is Jessica, and she's receiving the review request from the business. And then having a smart sequence of follow-ups, meaning you don't just send one request and then leave it. You can send between 1, 2, and 3 follow-ups. The next best practice is it's important to post those reviews on your social media. And so the reason is because this kind of tells other potential customers who are paying attention to your business, look at the great job that we did taking care of this customer. They were so excited they left a wonderful review. And so that continues to help out in this idea of social proof. Now, it's also a good best practice to have a direct invitation to leave a review. So handing out a card with a QR code to leave a review, that is great. Now, you have to be careful not to push customers to leave the review while they're still on location. I talk about this in another video in this series on the things not to do around Google reviews. So we'll talk about that in another video. And so I mentioned, so you may have seen on a previous slide around this idea of the map pack. If someone is searching for a glass installer near me, Google, after the sponsored listings, which are paid, so these two providers are paying to have their listing, prominently featured. So after that, the map pack displays 3 and only 3 organic listings. You can see the first one here, second, and third. And it also shows a cutout of the map showing where these businesses are. And so the review count, quality, and recency and the responses contribute to the visibility as to whether your business is going to show up in this map pack or be invisible. And in general, if your business is in the map pack, then you're going to get a lot of calls because these are the ones that Google is surfacing. If you're not, and a customer would have to scroll down to find you, you're basically invisible because no one's going to scroll to the second page to find other businesses. So it's a matter of either being visible or effectively invisible for all intents and purposes. Now, one of the things that we do at Bayfield Digital is do what's known as a Google Business Profile Audit. So we will audit businesses and basically give them a scorecard of how they're doing on various benchmarks to show best practices around the industry. And so if anyone wants to get a free audit of your Google Business Profile, I'm more than happy to do that. All you have to do is go to your Google Business Profile or just go to your reviews on Google and just click the share button. And then when the share button, when you click that, it will pop up with this window here. All you have to do is copy this link, and you can either leave it in the comments of this video, or you can email it to me at kenji@bayfielddigital.com. Actually, it's probably safer to email it to me because then I know exactly who to send the scorecard back to. And so if you're ready to start improving your local presence on Google, would love to work with you. We work with a lot of small businesses to help them get Google reviews. That's the only thing that we focus on at the moment. My contact information is here. And again, I want to emphasize that the importance of this, getting more and better Google reviews leads to increased visibility for your business on the internet. And that's going to lead to more customer calls that you're going to get organically without having to pay for any ads. Thanks a lot, and watch the rest of the videos in this playlist so you can learn more best practices around your Google business profile. Thank you.